How's it going? Welcome back to the show. This is You Made Roscoe, and I am Roscoe. And today, this is actually going to be a segment of or one of the segments from something that I'm doing on my show. It's called "Who's Wrong and Who's Not." We will have these segments where we discuss a topic. Usually it's a topic where there's two different philosophies, and going at each other. And we try to figure out which one is right, which one is the wrong one. This particular show and video, this is going to be a clip from a Drink Champs episode where Special Ed, he was recently a guest of that show. And he made some comments, about, well, he talked about a lot of things, but the thing that we'll be focusing in on is the comments that he made about N.W.A. and how destructive they were to hip hop as a whole. Ergo, the name of this video, Special Ed says N.W.A. was destructive to hip hop. So we'll be checking this out. Before we do that, I do want to ask for anybody who hasn't that they please subscribe to the channel and also make sure you hit the notification bell. And we're going to go ahead and start this up. I have some things that I want to say about this that I have said, over the years, to people close to me and all that. But I'll get a chance to share it with you guys, so let's go ahead and start this up. And yeah, let's get it.
Did Z would change the game TV. Rapper Special Ed recently made what many have found to be a controversial statement regarding legendary and controversial rap group N.W.A. Special Ed was on Drink Champs, and when asked to pick between rap groups EPMD or N.W.A., he segued and made this controversial statement.
N.W.A. brought the age of destruction to our children and our culture.
As many of us know, N.W.A. was among the first in hip-hop to popularize the subgenre of gangster rap music. Music that essentially is based on the alleged experiences of its founding members and also on factual occurrences in Los Angeles. Some of these experiences include racism, police brutality, poverty, and violence. But the songs from the rap group focused primarily on racism and police brutality. The group's disdain for racism and police brutality is clearly expressed in their songs, respectively, Express Yourself and Police. However, Special Ed clearly sees another side of the coin when it comes to N.W.A. being a pillar of popularizing gangster rap. Special Ed states that N.W.A.
Let me stop this before we continue, because the guy that's narrating this, and this is one of the things that I don't like, when it comes to, people telling stories of things that actually happened, but the way that they tell it distorts. It's going to distort, the story, and something he said here about how N.W.A. basically all they rapped about was they rapped against police violence and racism and all that. And those were some of the things that they spoke of. Of course, we know that they had the whole song after police, they had that song. And then they talked about some social issues, like a very little bit of it. But yeah, no, NWA wasn't like this. They're basically, or this narrator is basically trying to paint the picture like they were like Public Enemy or something. Like, like they actually were heavily and spoke prevalently about like social issues when they were talking about like gangster shit, and they were talking about like stuff that was destructive, you know. Now we will get into like who's responsible for that destruction at the end of the day. But yeah, no, I just have to say something because when I heard the narrator say like, yeah, they talk about police brutality and racism. That yeah, they talked about that a little bit. They talked about gangsterism and the hood shit. That was the that was the crust, the meat and potatoes of what NWA was talking about in these songs. A bitch is a bitch and all this stuff. But not that I used to love this stuff. Well, I do love this stuff, but I also realize there's another side to all of this stuff too. But let's continue.
These experiences include racism, police brutality, poverty, and violence. But the songs from the rap group focus primarily on racism and police brutality. The group's disdain for racism and police brutality is clearly expressed in their songs, respectively, Express Yourself and Police. However, Special Ed clearly sees another side of the coin when it comes to N.W.A. being a pillar of popularizing gangster rap. Special Ed states that N.W.A. popularizing gangster rap was, quote, genius for them and they made millions of dollars off of it. But look at what it caused, end quote. And according to Special Ed, what it caused was the, quote, N.W.A. brought the age of destruction to our children and our culture, end quote. Special Ed makes it clear that he has nothing personal against N.W.A. and its members. He goes on to say, I respect all of them as men, but as for the art form, and you want me to speak on the art form, that's where the agenda started, and that's where the destruction began. In N.W.A.
Let me stop it right there, because there is some truth in what Special Ed is saying right there about how that at that time in history, when N.W.A. was becoming a thing, um, there was at least, the conspiracy theorists in me will always believe that there was an agenda that kind of was birthed, around that time, once they saw like how popular, NWA was or would be, and the message or messages that they spread. And so when you think about like what hip hop was at the time, like of course you had NWA, but then you had all of these other different type of groups I already spoke about, like Public Enemy, but you had BDP, you had MC Light, you had Big Daddy Kane, Ice T. There was a balance in hip hop to where you couldn't point at hip hop and say that it's just this one thing. It's all violence and negativity and all that. But once NWA became popular, then I think the label started looking for anything and everything that looked and sounded like NWA. In which why we would get DJ Quick and Compton's Most Wanted and Above the Law, all these different things. I think are a direct result from NWA. But here we'll let this continue.
Nothing personal against N.W.A. and its members. He goes on to say, I respect all of them as men, but as for the art form, and you want me to speak on the art form, that's where the agenda started, and that's where the destruction began. In N.W.A.'s defense, many would state that they were street reporters, a group of young men fed up with racism and police brutality in their community, and through music they found a way to report the injustices in their communities to the masses. And though N.W.A. may have been the most popular of the gangster rap subgenre, there were other rappers speaking in violent tones prior to N.W.A. Not to mention that N.W.A. could not carry their gangster music to the masses without their labels backing them by investing millions of dollars to promote them. What are your thoughts on the N.W.A. comments made by Special Ed? Do you agree with him, or was N.W.A.
I'll just push it back a little bit, only to allow this to finish out before I say what I have to say. So let's finish this out.
Comments made by Special Ed. Do you agree with him, or was N.W.A. simply making music that already reflected what was going on in LA? And how much can the record labels that promoted N.W.A.'s music be held accountable for any of the destruction that Special Ed refers to? Given the fact that other rap groups were making social issues a priority and doing so without being, quote, destructive. Some of those groups include Public Enemy, X-Clan. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and hit the like button and the subscribe button, as it really helps the growth of our channel so that we can continue to bring you content like this. And as always, at Change the Game TV, we give you game so that you can change the game. Now, go forth and change the game.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Go over to, this brother and Change the Game TV and, hit the sub button and notification bell. Support this brother. But That wasn't a bad video. A little incomplete, I feel like, but that's just me. But yeah, I'm gonna push this back. Let's do that right there. All right, that was my episode or another episode of Who's Wrong and Who's Not. This one, Special Ed, says N.W.A was destructive to hip hop, and the reason why this video was very interesting to me. For one, I remember like years and years ago, much younger me, saying the same thing that Special Ed said. So I had that mindset at one point, like, man, did N.W.A kick off all this ignorance and craziness that's happening within like the culture of hip hop? Like, are they kind of at the beginning of this? And um, in some ways they were, but I think like the companies were using like the N.W.As in the world, anybody who came after them, because the reality is, and I've gotten away from the mindset that it was like it was N.W.A when violence and destruction has been here way before hip hop. Like violence and destruction as a matter of fact, who was that? KRS One. He said it in a song. I believe the song is "Free Mamiya," but he says America was violent before rap. Facts, So and the world in general, but he said America. But yeah, no, this place, this world, our country has promoted violence and been about violence and destruction for a long time before rap even came about. So when rap finally did hit, you know, there was when it was first born, it was all about party and that type of stuff. It wasn't the thing that it became once N.W.A hit the scene. But when they did, like I said, the record companies they found a way to push this type of music out to the forefront. When you had a lot of black centric music that was meant to raise our consciousness, and then you throw something like this into the mix, and it kind of messes with that a little bit. But yeah, no, NWA and what they brought to the table was it was gangster. It was really really gangster, and to this day I still love these guys. I can't take away the impact that NWA had on me, and a whole generation, but the fact of the matter is that yeah, these guys and groups like them, and even still up to this day, there's acts who are promoting negativity that are being used because they're pushing that stuff out in the forefront, and they aren't paying any attention to any artists who are trying to promote positivity and push that out into the forefront. So um, yeah, I just needed to get that out. That's it. But yeah, no, NWA, they're responsible at the end of the day. They're just pawns in the game like we all are. But yeah, no, good episode. That was Who's Wrong and Who's Not. We'll do this again. If you have any topics that you want me to talk about and figure out who's wrong and who's not in those situations, just let me know in the comment section. But yeah, I'm leaving. But before I do, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the share button, hit the playlist options, Well, one of the options, I have a playlist for, all of the who's wrong and who's not shows. So, there's a playlist for that. And then entertainment reactions, excuse me, is another playlist that you'll see this in. So you'll see this and everything that's already in those playlists. I do have playlists for other things. A lot of that stuff is going to be like reactions to music, to the actual music. But as you can see, I have playlists for everything. So make sure you just come over and check out stuff. Just dive into the playlist and, turn into a pig and just wallow in the mud. just get dirty in those playlists. But Cash App, $ you made Roscoe, PayPal at you made Roscoe, super thanks option is available for those who like to show their support or appreciation for what's being done on the page. Any donations will be made to any of those spots. And that is it. That's everything. So I'm going to leave. I will see you guys again soon. So until next time, be safe